Talk us through exactly what we're seeing. So we're seeing a manufacturing, getting worse, an economy that's slowing, but actually it should still be able to avoid a recession.
It could, if recent history is any guide. The economy, as you say, is it's a bit like an aeroplane. It comes down close to Earth, and what happens often in history is that at a certain growth rate, typically around 2%, consumers and companies have been so worried about the performance or the outlook that they just rein in their spending, their hiring, and that kind of tips the economy down, and into recession it goes. And the hope for some economists is now that level of growth at which the economy just chokes is lower at 1.5%. So that's kind of good news. It's not great news. It still means the economy is weak, and the data yesterday from the U.S. suggests reason to worry. But it does mean that the economy can perhaps sustain the expansion for longer, and then in time, hopefully, the Fed and government kicks in to get it flying higher again.
So, Simon, talk to me about the potential growth rate. This is, extremely interesting because it's basically the pace at which the economy can expand without inflation really heating up.
Absolutely, and where it is a big question for any economy. In the U.S., though, the view is it's declined, and so we've got a lower potential growth rate. So the economy grows lower without igniting inflation. The Fed thinks it's about 1.9%. Other economists think the same. So that also brings down that stall speed level. A combination of things, not necessarily good, not necessarily bad, but the idea that the economy can perhaps grow a little lower for longer is certainly one that some economists draw height from.
Simon, very quickly, if we're at stall speed, what will it take to actually tip the economy over? And is fiscal and monetary policy enough to make sure that it doesn't go into that?
So I think the big question now is whether that pain in the manufacturing sector, which is extended from the rest of the world to the US, whether that takes down the consumer, whether companies and whether the pain in factories extends to services and in turn extends to the hiring and consumer spending. The US consumer is kind of the single engine now driving the US economy. If the consumer buckles, so the economy will as well.